Hi everybody, it's Vince Sellers here again. Thanks for tuning in to FBI Talk. So my episode today is all about life at the FBI Academy. Now I'm going to do several episodes about the FBI Academy. This one, which focuses more on just the general day-to-day aspects, maybe things that you haven't even thought of to ask, but if you're getting ready to go there, you'll start thinking of in a hurry. And if you're just curious, I'll just talk about some of those day-to-day things. And then I'm going to break down in more detail the academic side, the firearms, and the defensive tactics were kind of the three main branches or main areas of study. But yeah, we're going to focus today on what's it like to go to the FBI Academy and what's that day-to-day like, right? All the details. What's it really like? So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. Well, first of all, if you're lucky enough to be appointed as an FBI agent, you'll get assigned to a new agent class. Mine was 0605, which meant it was the fifth class of fiscal year 2006, although I started in 2005 in December, so whatever. That's when I showed up to the FBI Academy and had my letter ready to go, pulled up to the gates. It, of course, is south of Washington, D.C. at the Marine Corps base at Quantico. And you drive up to the little guard shack. You've got your Marines there. And you show them your ID and let them know that where you're going, to the big bad FBI. They give you a strong hoorah, which I was not familiar with. I mean, I'd heard it before, I guess, but maybe not directly. And so I was a little puzzled how to respond. I didn't want to be rude. I have a great deal of respect for our military members, and the Marines are just amongst the best of the best. And anyway, I didn't want to insult anyone, so I finally got to where I'd just give them a thumbs up and say, you know, right on, and then keep driving. So anyway, just things to expect. You're on a Marine base, so it is secured accordingly. So you drive through the woods, and 10 or 15 minutes later, you know, you're driving past firing ranges, not for the FBI, but for the Marines. And then finally you get to the little sign that says FBI Academy. Pull in, there's a nice parking lot, you park, you survey your surroundings, and you've got a bunch of different buildings, as you would expect on a small campus. It sort of reminds me of like a large, like one of the really big high school campuses. There's a track. There are firing ranges, which you normally don't find at a high school, of course, but anyway, you see those. There's indoors and outdoors, so there's buildings and also just obvious lots of capacity for lots of people firing guns, which is one of the things you'll do a lot at the FBI Academy. They have a main kind of a lounge, call it a lobby, whatever you want to do. They got, you know, TVs in there and that kind of stuff. Cafeteria built in with that, so that's kind of the main landing point when you walk in. And then these buildings, by the way, are mostly connected with indoor hallways, habit trails, whatever you want to call them. And so you can get to the different dorms and that type of thing with those. So you've got several, at least a couple of multi-level, multi-story dorms, probably 5 or 6 stories, can't remember. But nevertheless, just typical college-style dorms. And then the rest of the buildings, academic building, gymnasium, has a indoor swimming pool there. You've got the old FBI lab buildings, and you've got the brand new FBI lab. And this is a long time ago since I've been there again, so I'm sure it's grown somewhat, but also being the government, I'm sure most of those buildings are still in use. So anyway, just, letting you guys know what to expect once you get there. So basically, the dorm life is very much like a college dorm life. You get assigned your roommate. Basically, it's just alphabetical order. So I was down in the S's. So my roommate, I won't say his name, but great guy. Super lucky to be paired with this guy. And he had a last name started with S. So we were paired together. So 2 people per room, 2 rooms, kind of a suite situation where you share a bathroom. So, yep, you got 4 guys sharing a bathroom. Maybe the bathroom's not always the most pleasant place or neatest or cleanest place, but nevertheless, it is what it is. It's just like going like back to college, basically, except with much stricter rules. So not really fun, especially if you're used to having an apartment or a house, your own privacy, all that type of stuff. So at least when I was there too, they basically there was no TV. You didn't bring your TVs or things like that. You could bring some personal electronics. Way back then, I was introduced to the joys of a PlayStation Portable, so much more advanced gaming systems now. So you can bring that kind of stuff. Cell phones and that type of stuff. I was there before there was really any smartphones. You had these ancient things called Blackberries, but nevertheless, the phone signals were very sparse and just on the edge of communication range, where you could call a loved one, but there were areas where you could not get any reception. So you had to be aware of that. So you feel pretty cut off from the world when you're there. So anyway, but you don't spend a ton of time in your dorm. Most of the time you're in class or, on the firing range or or doing something else, doing defensive tactics, out exercising, at the cafeteria. And when you're not doing those things, then after hours, you may want to get the heck off of the Marine Corps base and immerse yourself into public life. There's a couple of towns nearby. You can go to a bookstore. You can go to, fast food. We'd break away. There was Five Guys burgers, if you're familiar with that. My roommate and I and our suite mates would frequently break away just to change up the monotony, especially after you're at the academy for a few weeks. It starts getting old in a hurry. So you're not on complete lockdown, but basically after hours are your hours, and you can do as you please. Now, the reality is that your after hours, much of that has to be spent studying or practicing defensive tactics, things that you will be tested on, and you have to study, you have to get it done. If you fail a couple of times, then you're out, right? So, everybody that's there worked super hard to get there and went through everything that I'm sure many of my viewers, that you guys have gone through, and it's not easy. So once you're there, you don't want to blow it. But some people do. Some people wind up getting sent home and leave. So anyway, that's just the way it is. Now, what else can I tell you? Cafeteria food was decent while I was there. I mean, it's pretty much standard fare. I'm not very picky or spoiled, so definitely in line, if not slightly better than, a halfway decent college cafeteria food situation. So there you go. All you can eat. You do exercise enough and your adrenaline's going and you're 24/7, doing stuff. It seems like enough that the calories burn off pretty well. So if you're used to sitting at a desk job or what have you, no worries. You'll get plenty of exercise while you're at the FBI Academy. I guarantee it. So what else can I tell you? The day-to-day, a typical day, it starts early. If you do not pass your initial fitness test, which I did not, I remember getting to push-up number 28 and hearing 28, 28, 28, 28 over and over. They did not want to pass me and give me that 30th one. Said my form was too shaky or whatever. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not. I don't know, but they're looking to fail you. They're looking to be hard on you. They're looking to weed people out that they don't think deserve to be in the FBI. And that's cool. That's fine. But you need to show up mentally tough and mentally prepared. Instructors most of them are not going to be nice or your friend. On the academic side, yes, I love the academic instructors, the classroom instructors, and I'll have another video about that. But the defensive tactics folks in particular, I'll focus more on that later. Firearms, these guys are not friendly. They are not your friend. They are there to train you and make sure that you meet the minimum qualifications, which are quite stringent. So anyway, if you fail the fitness test, you will be showing up for 6 a.m. mandatory makeup work exercise at the gymnasium. So I would roll out of bed very early, and my roommate would too. I greatly appreciate supporting me. He passed his fitness test, very fit guy. Just as a show of support, he would come down there with me every day. I'll never forget that. And that's the kind of camaraderie that you build with your fellow agents. So everyone's in the same boat, and everyone works together and it helps each other out. So it is a great team building basically a 5 month or more, however long it is now. It's a couple of weeks longer than when I was in a very long team building event. But you form some close bonds, and the folks that show up there, these new agents, are just great people. So anyway, 6 a.m. exercise, shower, 7 a.m. cafeteria, and then when I finally did pass my fitness test a few weeks later, which was a big deal, I was able to sleep in till 7, roll out of bed, hit that cafeteria for breakfast. 8 a.m. you're in class or at the firing range or doing defensive tactics. Then about noon, break for lunch. Then 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it's very structured like that. Very predictable hours for the most part, and very scheduled. There are some evenings where you have to do stuff. There are some exercises and some different things that you have to do. But again, for the most part, the evenings are technically freed up for you to spend your time how you wish. But nevertheless, that's just kind of an overview of that type of thing. Laundry, you have to do your own laundry. They've got washing machines, bring a lot of quarters, at least back then. Hopefully they've got it electronic now, but I wouldn't count on it. But you do your own laundry. You have to buy your own clothes there, your own, shirts. You'll stencil those with your name on it. Your own 511, khakis that you wear all the time for just about everything. All those type of things. And you're responsible for washing them. So, if you're not used to that, if you're used to having a spouse or mother or father or whoever that does your laundry for you, guess what? You need to learn, and rather quickly. All right. What else can I tell you? I think that's pretty much the highlights. I mean, they have a library. They've got, it's kind of fun. It is kind of fun. I enjoy kind of wandering the halls in my free time. In the evenings, I'd go walk past back over where the academic building is. They have lots of all the photos of the previous classes, and you see just thousands of people, thousands of agents, the classes, and you realize, yep, these people were in my shoes. And someday my photo will be on there, and mine is, I'm sure, somewhere with my class of back then, 0605. So if you're there at the academy, look up the 0605, you'll see me. But it is an amazing experience. Again, I wouldn't want to do it again, and it was somewhat miserable a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, you just wanted to get the heck out of there. But I do look back on it to some degree with fondness, just because it was such a unique experience. And it was cool. I mean, you're at the FBI Academy. You can walk around. You can dig around. I'd wander in the old FBI lab building, and that was also my move for being able to place a phone call privately to my spouse and be able to just talk frankly without having my roommates around, that kind of thing. And just get a little peace and quiet, study or whatever. I'd find an old table in the old FBI lab, and that was cool. You could walk around and see this stuff. The surrounding area is very pretty, nice wooded, kind of hilly, lots of trees area, and put on your running shoes. I do like to run, and some of the best running trails I've seen. Nice big lake nearby. You could run for the base, or this is all on the base, but you could run for the FBI Academy. Just hop on these trails that take off through the woods and along the lakes and that kind of thing. And it's cool. You have a lot of freedom to be able to do that type of stuff. So it's an amazing, unique experience for sure. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. Just seeing if there's anything else. But I hope this was useful for you guys. It's always the little things you don't think of until it's almost time to go. And you're like, oh, what's this going to be like? So just wanted to get into some of those day-to-day aspects. But the FBI Academy is an amazing experience. And I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive again on the main, areas of study. So stay tuned for those future episodes. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope everyone's staying safe. Be patient. This is being recorded during COVID, so vaccines are coming quickly. Everybody just be patient and be safe, be smart, and we'll get through this together. And that's all I've got. All right. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Adios.